The Get Better podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants. Please remember to gamble responsibly.
Welcome to Get Better for May the 5th, 2022. Cinco de Mayo. How are you, Luke Boone?
I'm pretty good. I'm doing all right. Actually, truthfully, I'm a little under the weather, fighting a cold again. But we're battling through it because it's a big week. There's lots going on.
Huge week. We're right at the beginning of the playoffs. We got a lot to talk about on that side. Our beloved
NHL
Leafs.
Playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our beloved Leafs took an L last night. Lots to dissect there, and which way we're going to be betting for the rest of that series. Maybe talk a little bit about who we think is going to win the finals, but most importantly, it is Derby week.
Yes,
the ponies.
Back betting the ponies. Kentucky Derby. Such a great week. I think that we both said too a few podcasts ago, a few episodes ago, when we talked about bucket list sporting events, trips that we'd like to go to. I think we both had the Derby on there. Right.
Yeah, and it's pretty open to the public. I found out, like, you can go get tickets for a couple $100, and I guess you're in the infield in the middle part.
I don't know what they call it.
I don't know. I feel like it's not the grandstand with the cool hats.
No,
it's more with the common folk in the middle. That's where I belong for sure.
But doesn't everybody just wear the hats and the cool guard? Like, if you're going to the Kentucky Derby, don't you dress up, or that's just for the rich and the famous?
Maybe I'm picturing like 1920s Kentucky Derby, where like they let us into the infield as just the common folk. Like that's where I'd be, waiting outside the night before, not showing up in my my Ford, my original Ford, just walking in.
Yeah. But an exciting week. Kentucky Derby, massive one. Always fun to bet the ponies and do a little bit of insight and research on that. So we're going to cover that for the most part today. Some interesting storylines that we're going to cover. But we also do want to talk a little bit about the NHL playoffs.
What do you want to do first?
Let's do the playoffs first. No?
Okay, the playoffs first. Okay, we can go playoffs.
Were you going to go the other way?
I'm up to you. Up to you, sir.
Let's talk about the playoffs first. Let's do that.
Okay.
Well, so we're through two games. If we're talking about the Leaf series first and foremost, knotted up at twos. The Leafs came out in game one, impressive fashion, took it to the Lightning. Leafs Nation went crazy. This is it. There was some ludicrous conversations around sweep. I'm not going to point any fingers at anyone in particular.
Leafs in four. I made sure I tweeted it so that I could come back when it happened. Went, yeah, that's right. I called that. That's how confident I was in Leafs in four.
And that's what happened, because they looked so good in game one. But truthfully, I don't think Tampa really played well in game one. And that ultimately, and you can't take it away. No question. Leafs look good. They looked really good in game one. Tons of excitement. The buzz around that when that puck first dropped, that was crazy.
Can I just say, first of all, shout out to our Toronto Maple Leafs in-stadium fans. That was the loudest I've ever seen a Leaf game. And keep that up.
Yeah,
because
it's
a running joke about how quiet that arena is. If we can do that, that's a game changer, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think they need the atmosphere buzzing like that. It makes a big difference. It was fun to watch. To hear the crowd like that was great to see. So, anyways, fast forward, and a physical first game too. Some fights, some suspensions, the whole bit.
Wait for Clifford to come back.
What's your take on Clifford? Do you think that he was given the tap, go out, make a big impact?
Go.
Maybe he pushed it too far.
He did. He was
bad hit.
It reminded me. It was a little Kadri, in a way, right? Where he's just he just played a little over the edge. If he just would have taken one more step and then finished that check, maybe that's just a charging penalty, maybe just a late hit. But
maybe.
Yeah,
it's a bad hit.
Got him behind, put his face right in the boards. Glad the guy's okay, but we're gonna need him next game to come out and just lay somebody out. I want to hear them booing him really early.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bad hit, no question, bad hit. But I think they were playing up to the fact there was all this conversation when they got absolutely shelled 8-1 or whatever it was, like in the end of the regular season there. You had Maroon chirping Tavares on the bench. You guys are soft. You guys are soft. So I think the Leafs kind of wanted to come out and make a statement, say, yeah, are we soft? I don't know. Let's show you a little different.
Even I have to be honest, like if it wasn't for how many penalties we had last game, I still think my Leafs in 4 prediction would have come through. I'm telling you right now, there's something I'm very pessimistic when it comes to the Leafs. And I'm, big process guy, but there's something different here. Mm-hmm. And, I'm willing to make a bold statement.
Oh, okay.
Leafs in 5.
It's so ridiculous. I think
no faith, man.
No, I have a lot of faith. I just think that they're playing against, 2-time Stanley Cup repeat Stanley Cup champions. They've won it the last 2 years. They have maybe the best goal, and I think we covered this in the last podcast, but they have the best goal in the NHL. So they're up against the law. They're up against a team that knows how to win. They've won the whole thing twice, 2 years in a row. They've got who I think is a pretty good coach, and John Cooper. And
he's a good guy. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Really well liked.
He's a lawyer though, too, right? Yeah. He's a lawyer first. Yeah. No, that's why he's pretty well spoken. Like he knows how to play the mind games, right? Like that's the other thing. He knows how to play the mind game.
He's playing into it.
But so I think they're up against it. So I'm not sold on the fact that I think the Leafs get out of this series. It's going to be either 6 or 7. I'm leaning towards 7. I think it goes 7.
Okay.
I think it goes 7. And I think it's going to be a physical one, and continue to be physical, which is great because it's been phenomenal hockey. I've loved watching. It's been great hockey.
Isn't it nice to like the only part that I didn't like was the third period where obviously Tampa gets a big lead. They start to play the trap a bit more, and it really slows that game down a bit. I love it. Like I just feel like this is a really good matchup for us because I don't think we've done traditionally well with teams that sort of play that more prevent style. They love to play offense, both these teams, and they both open it up, and I think that lends to us a little bit better.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say: I'm going to give full credit and kudos to Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews, who have come out, shaking the demons here.
Thanks.
Both these guys coming into tonight's matchups. Okay, I know they're not playing tonight, but coming in tonight's matchups, number 1 and number 2 in playoff scoring points. Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, both with 5. Okay. So monkey off the back. They've shown up. They've played well. Truthfully, what they really need now is they need guys like Tavares and Nylander and some of those guys to show up and put some points on the board too. And get a little bit of support from them. Because honestly, if these two guys didn't do anything, they'd be screwed. Right. They each have 2 goals and 3 assists.
So, this is not going to be very popular right now of a take. Happy with what I'm seeing there, but I still have some question marks, and this is a bad one. And I'm going to take a lot of heat for this. And, feel free to comment below if I'm wrong, but there's a part of me that is starting to question, is Austin Matthews just more of a regular season stat guy?
Are you out of your mind?
I know how it feels. There's just something around the lack of toughness I see that's just not sitting well with me. And I want to be wrong. I want to be clear. I want to be wrong.
Okay.
There just needs to be something, a little bit more I need to see.
Okay. So let's look at the Bunting goal from last night. The Bunting goal from last night, puck goes into the corner. He goes in, takes the hit. So makes the hit, takes the puck, pushes it out, gets the assist. Bunting scores a goal. That to me is he took the body, right? Like, and we talked about this before. He's like, is he a two-way player? Or like, I think Austin Matthews fights harder for the puck when he doesn't have it. I think he wants that puck all the time. That's why I think he's one of the better two-way players in the league. But he took the body, got the puck. I think he fed it to, I don't know if it went to Marner and then Marner to Bunting. I think that's how it went. And Bunting put it in the back of the net. that to me, I was like, when I saw him make the hit, I was like, oh, okay. Like different style hockey. And like, he knows if he's got to step up, take the body, be a bit physical. He is a big body and he should. I agree with you on this. I feel like he should. But is he an individual? Is it what you're getting at here? Is he a regular season individual stats guy going to win my awards and that's it? He's leading the playoffs right now in points with Mitch Marner.
Great. Right? It's great. It's 2 games and yeah, they got a lot of power plays too, right?
And can I just say, he's a +4. Mitch Marner's a +6.
I would hope so. You've scored 8 goals in 2 games.
I know, but you've
right.
questioned whether or not you think
I've questioned, and
he's
he did
a two-way player.
He did make a great play coming back. I can't remember who he lifted the stick of the guy right before. It was a really good chase down. I can't remember who he was. He chased down, but I'm telling you right now, there's just something that's not sitting well with me. And it reminds me of early year Ovechkin. And then I feel like he conquered it. So there's still room to grow there, I think.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'm not on this hype train everybody else is on right now. I need to see a little bit more, and it's going to take getting out of this round. A little bit of toughness there.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I think
hard to please.
I think that's
hard
fair.
to please. Not that he even needs to please me, but
so in your mind, you still believe Connor McDavid's going to end the first round with more points than Austin Matthews?
Sure. Like I love I was watching the Oilers game. It's just so fun to watch the puck on McDavid's stick.
Yeah, without a doubt.
It's so fun.
It's another level
up in the zone. It's a thing of beauty. It's like you're watching
the way he skates, the speed, the edges, like all that stuff is no question. It is fun to watch in that. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Truthfully, I was surprised that they lost that first game, Edmonton.
Same, I got a little nervous.
I know, but that actually set up. So they lost that first game at home. Yeah. That set up a pretty good, which we've talked about. We were talking about this. There's a couple good zigzag theories here.
Totally.
And that come into play right now, which is a betting theory that we've talked about in previous podcasts. I think the last time we covered playoffs, which is actually that was one series, the Edmonton. So they came back last night, won that series in dominant fashion, I believe. Did they not? I think they won 5-0.
So, and just to remind everybody what the zigzag theory is, it's so, in a case like the Edmonton Oilers game, they were the home favorite in game 1 and lost. So the zigzag theory is when something like that happens, bet the game 2 really hard for that favorite. So that's one of them. So that's the game 2 zigzag you're looking for. And the other one is the game 3 zigzag is when a team is down 2-0 and coming home in game 3. It is very likely they will win and cover the spread in that game. So I think we have a couple of those coming up. Like even the Florida Panthers one today, like perfect zigzag.
Florida Panthers, Pittsburgh Penguins, both those were good for tonight. You could have bet that zigzag theory. So
the zigzag that's coming back tomorrow night is Carolina versus the Bruins, who have just been kind of manhandled for the first 2 games.
And that's one that makes me a little bit nervous. You like it as a bet tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're betting the Bruins.
Zigzag. I'm betting the Bruins tomorrow. 100%.
Yeah, betting the Bruins coming home. I don't know.
The odds will be pretty good there. I haven't seen them yet, but
I think you'll get a decent amount of plus money on that.
Yeah. Can't wait.
You'll get a decent amount of plus money on that. That might be a good bet. I worry a little bit about Boston. Again, I don't think that they can get out of that series. I think that could actually be a sweep. I think I bet that series to be a sweep. Carolina could sweep that one.
Even Rangers, great zigzag. They did it as well in their game 2. Lost game 1, came back and took care and covered that spread today. So
So
here's betting for round 1 and 2.
So here's another question for you quickly before we jump into the Derby. You are a third string goalie. Your game is headed into another overtime here. I don't even know. Yeah, you're the third string, but your first string's already out, so your backup's in. You get a little hungry. You get a little peckish.
Oh, I know where you're going.
You need a little something because you're sitting there. Long game. You've just been sitting on the bench and you're a little bit hungry.
Yeah.
what's your go-to meal?
And
What are you gonna eat as a peak high performing athlete?
Sorry, and do I know I'm coming into the net, or
no? You
I'm
don't.
just like I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
You don't know. Okay, you don't know. But
so I've done this many times over my life. I'm the third string goalie. I don't think I'm going to play. You're the third string, but you're the third string goalie sitting in a backup position now. Yes.
So theoretically, and you're going.
So I moved up a bit.
What you're going into double or triple overtime, whatever it was. I don't know when he ate the spicy pork and broccoli. That's what we're getting at. The guy ate spicy pork and broccoli,
and then shut the door.
He did.
It sounds like maybe spicy food's the way to go.
That become his pregame meal.
And I'm not a spicy guy, so yeah, I still think I'm probably crushing a cheeseburger from the vendor.
Oh my God!
Up on the second floor.
As a high performing athlete, first of all, where do you get the spicy pork?
Yeah, like what? Like why is
that? I thought that was my first question.
Like, isn't it more like Nutri-Grain bars and stuff like that? Like really healthy, like apples and pears. Like that's what the main trainer would be. It's just not a bunch of spicy pork around, unless and maybe this is something maybe we got to figure out is what do they serve players when the game is done? What is the food that's around? Like, is it bigger food? Back in the 70s, it would have been like beers and cigarettes. Probably cheeseburgers and fries, right? Like that's the way it went. But what do they serve now for the elite athlete in 2022? Let us know down below.
Yeah.
What do they serve athletes in the NHL after a regular season game as a meal?
Yeah, spicy pork and broccoli. I mean, hey, kudos to him, even for admitting it to the media.
Yeah,
just to be like, I ate some spicy pork, some broccoli, right? Like, it's just a little added bonus there. He was like,
Boone. Before we move on, did we talk our predictions for the NHL playoffs?
I don't think we went all the way.
Do you have two in mind that you're looking at? Like,
the only thing I said in the last podcast is, I believe if the Leafs get through this first round, which I believe they will, I think they win the East. I think this is what they need to just get over the hump and run the table, win the East, and then they get into the finals. On the West side of things, I really like Calgary. I really like Calgary.
So good. I'm all over Calgary Flames.
I think this could be a year we see a Canadian team raise the cup. We could see Calgary. The streak could end here. We could see I like Calgary a lot. I think Colorado's going to be a bit of a force too, though. So perfect situation obviously would be you either get a Calgary or Edmonton against the Leafs in the final. I don't know that Edmonton can do it, though. I'm not sold on Edmonton getting it done. I think Calgary has a better chance than Edmonton. And I love that round 2 matchup. Calgary, Edmonton.
That'll be must-watch TV.
Yeah.
If they can do it.
Who do you have? Do you have an outright winner?
Right there with you. Yeah, I'm 100%. I got the Calgary Flames to win the Stanley Cup Finals.
Nice.
Just coached well. Everything feels right. And I believe they're going to be playing the Leafs in the finals. So I'm full on home team, Canadian final, right there with you.
Yeah.
Calgary versus Toronto.
Could be a fun one.
And Calgary's going to take us, unfortunately, I think.
Yes.
Brings up a good question. I got a little trivia question for you, Luke.
Okay.
Can you tell me, obviously there's been a long drought with Canadian teams winning the Stanley Cup Finals. From the year you were born, in order, the Stanley Cup champions from Canada. From the year you were born, who won the Stanley Cup in each Canadian market? So in what order? Will you make a mistake? So what year were you born?
85.
So first of all, do you know the Canadian teams that have won in your lifetime?
No, I don't.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think here. No, I don't.
Okay, well, there's been 3, Sarah, then.
There's been 3 Canadian teams
that have won the Stanley Cup.
Well, Edmonton would be one of them.
100%.
Yeah. Edmonton might have won multiple.
Yes, they would have. They would have, sir.
Who else? What did the other Vancouver know?
Nope.
Vancouver had that one run. They went deep. And they made it to the finals, didn't they? Was it the finals or the West? No, the Western Conference?
They've been to the finals a couple times. They did the Rangers way back in like, I think it was 94. That was when Mark Messier, who we'll bring up a little bit later, called it. Where he called
and not in related to hockey, the Messier comment.
Yeah, let's see. We will bring up Messier later. And then they lost to Boston. Also in game 7.
So Montreal has won in my lifetime, I believe. Or
yes, they have, Luke.
Yeah. Montreal. So Edmonton, Montreal. I can't. It's not. Is it Calgary? Is it No, or is it? It's Winnipeg. Can't be Winnipeg.
Winnipeg's never won.
They've never won. Yeah,
they've never won. So Luke, I'm going to
neither, and the Senators haven't won. And we obviously know the story with the Leafs, so that's not. So it's got to be Calgary.
It's Calgary. That's true. So since the time you were born, so 85 would have been Oilers. And the Oilers won again in 87, then again in 88. And then in 1989, Calgary Flames. Right. Then again, the Oilers after Gretzky left in 90. And then 93, Montreal Canadiens. And that, they say, is history. So you failed yet another survey with me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the trivia. One of these podcasts, I'm going to come up with trivia for you.
Yeah, you got it, man. Come. I'll win it. I'm good at trivia.
I love a good trivia. Do you ever do like pub night, like trivia pub night?
I used to do those all the time. I remember they used to have.
They were really big for a while there. Yeah.
They used to have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at the bar. That'd be like a Monday night watching WWE Raw at like 21 years old, playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I can't remember. I don't think it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire there, but yeah, we used to do that all the time. That was a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move to the Derby?
Let's move.
We should have Derby hats. Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do for Get Better merch. Like we should have a Get Better merch Derby hat.
A Derby hat? I like it.
Just GBS right across
for
the top.
For GBS. Yes. Okay. Let's get into it. Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby this Saturday. Love it. Yeah. It's so fun to watch.
It is.
And it's like, it's really funny. There's such a buildup to a short window of entertainment. But it's really exciting. And there are some interesting storylines this year that we're looking at. And we both have gone through and made a couple picks who we're looking at, who we like. I think we both put in our trifecta picks right now. We've boxed them.
Is it trifecta or trifecta?
No, trifecta. Just trifecta. It's 100% a trifecta. Trifecta.
It's the way it rolls off the end of the tongue at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, some of the key storylines to look out for, one of them is first and foremost, the favorite. Epicenter is the name of the horse. So Epicenter is trained by a gentleman named Steve Asmussen, who is maybe the winningest trainer in thoroughbred racing, but has never won a Kentucky Derby. Ooh. This might be his best chance at winning a Kentucky Derby with this particular horse. And they are favored at 7-2. So that's one of the unique storylines to watch out for. But the most intriguing storyline for me, and you may recall, and if you tuned in last year and watched
last year.
Yeah. And if you watched our podcast last year with around the Kentucky Derby, we covered a gentleman by the name of Bob Baffert.
Bobby B. Yes.
B. You remember, known for the blue sunglasses, the look, the whole bit. Trained a horse by the name of Medina Spirit, who ends up winning the Kentucky Derby last year.
Yeah.
And ultimately ends up getting DQ'd days later, I believe it is, for doping.
Oof.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Doping, not so much in the sense of he was pumping the horse full of steroids. I think it was an anti-inflammatory or something like that he was injecting the horse with. So if we continue down the narrative of this story, Bob Baffert ends up getting suspended. Medina Spirit, God rest its soul, passes away in December, suddenly dies. Now there's all these questions surrounding Bob Baffert and the way that he's medicating horses and what's going on. And Bobby, what's the deal here? So Bobby is suspended. And one of the more winningest trainers, if I can say, also in thoroughbred racing, just like Steve, whatever his name was, Asmussen. I probably butchered that name too, but whatever.
But sorry, I don't think he's going to listen to this one.
Yeah, it's okay. Steve's not. Steve, if you're listening, I apologize to you.
And if his PR team reaches out, we're happy to have him on the podcast. If you'd like, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your win a bit.
We're always welcome. Just like we said, we were welcome to have Shaquille O'Neal on the podcast when he said that the Raptors were going to get swept and they didn't. Yes, they lost.
So we got Bobby Baffert on here, just full glasses the whole bit.
Oh,
Bobby, come on. Come on the podcast.
Bobby, give us our take. Tell us about the two horses that you have your fingers all over in this year's Kentucky Derby, because that to me is
still connected to these horses.
So here's the story. So there's two horses in the race right now that he trained, I believe, and have now he is suspended, but are now being trained by a man named Tim Yakteen. I probably butchered this too, but that's how I think it is. Tim Yakteen. Tim Yakteen, I think is his name. So Tim Yakteen, it was the assistant trainer, I believe, for Bobby Baffert. So there's two horses, Messier and Taba. Messier is an 8-1 favorite sitting in the 6th post position, and Taba is a 12-1 favorite. I shouldn't say favorite, 12-1 odds sitting in the 12th post position, both trained by the assistant trainer for Bob Baffert.
You know what this means, right? Bobby B is Dr. Claw. He's behind the wheel still. Full cat. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. He's still pulling the strings. I love this guy. This is 100%. What horse racing needs. Horse racing needs a bad guy. Bobby. Love it. Still pulling the strings from behind the curtain.
Bad Bobby.
100%. I'm betting one of these horses. I'm betting
betting both of them. Are you kidding me? I'm betting both of these horses.
Bobby B just sitting at home. Like, is he allowed at the Derby?
I don't even think he's allowed on the grounds. I don't know. I actually don't know how that from works.
The grounds too, right?
Yeah, I imagine he's probably not allowed to be there. Yes, exactly. He's sitting there just pulling the strings from behind, just telling Tim Yakteen everything he needs to do to get these horses over the line here. So
it's amazing.
Those are two.
I love these storylines
I'm looking at. Yeah.
This is, you know what? Horse racing needs one of those like F1 Netflix series.
Ooh, I like it.
You know, like get behind the scenes. Question for you and for our listeners. Are the horses having fun? Do you think, Luke Boone, that the horses are enjoying themselves in this race? Yes or no? Are they conscious enough to be like, yeah?
First of all, I think Jerry Seinfeld does a great bit on this, on horse racing. It's so good.
Oat bag.
Oat bag. I get my oat bag now. It's so good.
But what's that's the real question. Yes or no? Comment below.
Okay.
Are the horses having fun?
No. There's no way the horse is having it. Think about this. Let's think about the process. First of all, you're going to get paraded into a stadium full of yelling people. You're probably just like, what is all of this? Then you're going to get shoved into a little claustrophobic gate, right? Someone's jumping on your back, right? And then all of a sudden, the gate door is going to open up and you're just going to get kicked and whipped around this track as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah.
While racing against all these other
probably
horses
not.
in this crowded space where you could trip and break a leg or die for that matter.
But they don't
You're going to
know
race
that.
all the way
They
around
probably
this
know that.
track. And
Yeah.
as Seinfeld comments on it, they're going to get to the end of the race and be like, we were just here. We started. What was the point of that?
We got to
It's
find
a
that
great
bit and
bit.
play that with it. It is such a good bit.
great bit.
But
how could it possibly
seriously,
be fun for them?
Well, I think you've assumed one thing here. You've painted all horses with one brush, right? And
Sure.
you don't know that there's every horse is a little different and different genes, and maybe some people like to be paraded around and into the spotlight, little pep in the step, little shoulders pumping. I think there's something there. You probably have some horses that maybe do enjoy it, but you're right. The kicking and whipping, that's really not terrible. That cool.
Yeah. The kicking and the whipping would be awful.
Like just to make him go faster, like let him do it on its own if he wants to do it.
Does he want
maybe they need to run without a person on the back. That's the true test of who's the fastest.
I don't know that they would know how to do that though.
You train
it's not like greyhound racing where they put the little rabbit on the remote thing and it runs around.
So you put a little carrot on the thing and you run it around and they try it.
That's what you put an oat bag on it, right? Go get it.
Go get that.
So
anyway, good take. I would love to know. I think everybody would agree that most likely the horses are not having a good time.
Yeah. But you do bring up a fair point because there is, and that's something that they do call out that you need to look for is certain horses have certain traits, and there are horses that can be a bit claustrophobic. So getting into the gate is stressful for them. So what that means is if you have a horse that gets stressed out going into the post, right? Like into the gate there, you ideally don't want to be in 1, 2, 3, 4 post position because you're going in first and you got to wait for all 20. So now you got your claustrophobic horse and they're just having an anxiety attack, in that post position, waiting for the gate to open so it can get out of there. Right. So there are some significant traits to look out for. Didn't we cover this too in the last podcast about when they do the parading around, you look for confident horses?
Yeah. Like there's
not the ones that
insider,
are
like look them in the eye type thing.
Yeah. The ones that are like parading around and look really good.
Speaking of different traits, you had a really good point we talked about around certain things at Churchill Downs that historically have come through, or should I say haven't come through.
Yeah. So
what were some of those things about the horses
in the spirit of get better at betting and providing our listeners with a couple of tips and things to watch out for?
When we can tie the podcast name in.
Yeah, it's good to do that. Yeah. Shameless plug, just a shameless plug. So one of the things to note is you want to try to find those horses that are going to jump out and be sort of front of the pack. Maybe not in the lead, but are going to be front of the pack. Those deep closers have not won the Kentucky Derby. The last deep closer, I guess, to win the Kentucky Derby was in 2013 when Orb did it, and he came all the way back from 17th, I think it was. Now, the challenge with that is he won that on a DQ. So he came all the way back from 17th. He finished second technically, and it was Maximum Security who actually won. And Maximum Security was in the lead through the last, what do they call it? A furlong? 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 I think it's a furlong.
Furlong?
Yeah. Well-educated horse.
Furlong. Yeah, we definitely need Bobby B on here to straighten us out.
Yes. At the end of the day, Maximum Security won because they were up front. So you're really kind of looking for a horse that can be in the front of that pack, keep the pace, and one that can continue to maintain that pace through the end of the race. So that's one of the things to look out for. The one other stat that I pulled also in regards to Bobby Baffert's horses. Now we're just totally discounting Tim Yakatine as a trainer and saying it's Bobby Baffert pulling the strings behind. Poor Tim. We're also happy to have Tim on the podcast too, if he'd like to come. The one thing to note about the Messier horse and the Tabia horse is that they have the highest buyer speed figure. So that buyer speed figure is an analytical term that's used in horse racing that measures the pace, which is based on distance, speed of the competition, and track conditions. So an important thing to look at, apparently it is a pivotal stat or a crucial stat to know at Churchill Downs with the Kentucky Derby. And those two horses, in terms of Messier and Tabia, the highest buyer speed, I think, in the field was something that I read. So key things to look at. The other thing is the post position that you gotta watch closely here. I think typically it's been like the middle post positions that have fared the best at the Kentucky Derby. It is obviously there's 20 horses in the race. What was the number I saw? And I don't have it in front of me anymore, but there was here it is. Key stat to look at. The 5th post has won 10 times, which is the most. The 10th post has won 9 times, which is the second most. And then you've got a couple there with 8. You've got post 1 has won 8 times, 7 and 8 have won 8 times. And then it kind of goes from there. If you got any horses sitting kind of in that 17, 18, 19, 20, even 16, good luck to you. They've rarely.
It's such a far race for them. You're just adding miles just to get to them. It's like a couple furlongs just to get back to that.
More whipping and more kicking for those horses.
Oh, poor guys.
Yeah, poor guys. So
anyway. I will say, just doing my research this week, there was a couple horses that did jump out at me. First of all, the story of Messier.
Yeah. Let's tell that one.
Yeah, a little bit. So the way it goes, I believe it's a connection to Mark Messier. Ironically, his nickname was the Moose, though. So like a little, wrong animal. Don't think you're a riding moose yet, but
no.
That's where I'm leaning definitely towards Messier. Epicenter is obviously the favorite there, and if we're building out trifectas, sorry, I'm going to pair Messier and Epicenter with this horse that's jumping out at me,
Crown Pride.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Crown Pride, and
which is the horse from Japan.
Yeah, it's coming, or I think it's from the UAE. Anyway, this is the owner and trainer's first time entering the Derby. And you know me, I like statement time. I think they're about to make a statement. The horses had only 3 races, won 3 of them. The jockey himself is, legendary overseas. So it's statement time. So watch out. Crown Pride.
So I'm with you on Epicenter and Messier. I've got both of those, but like I said, I'm betting on both of the bad Bobby Baffert horses. Bad Bobby B. I've got Taba, Messier, and Epicenter. The other one to really watch for is Zandon. Yeah, the only thing I don't like, so Zandon is the second favorite there at 3-1. The only thing that makes me nervous about Zandon is he is one of those what would you call that? Stalker
closer.
Deep closer. So he comes from way behind. Not to say that it's not doable, but in a 20 horse race, if you get stuck in the back there, you're in trouble. That's why it's really important to get out ahead early here. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun to watch on Saturday. It's going to be interesting to see how the trifectas fare for us, and to see if Bobby Baffert is sitting at home in his blue sunglasses, just laughing to himself like a diabolical laugh. Yeah.
Oh man. Before we wrap up, Luke, there's a couple other things I know you wanted to quickly hit on. The golf.
Yeah, a couple. So Wells Fargo, obviously coming up, which we're going to talk about in a few podcasts coming up, is the PGA Championship. down in is it Tulsa? I think it is. That's coming up in I think 2 weeks, I want to say. But this weekend, PGA Tour is at Wells Fargo, and I saw it interesting. A guy by the name of Brandon Matthews. He's playing in the tournament on an exemption, sponsor's exemption, but apparently just an absolute stud and driver of the golf ball. He's got what he calls his fairway finder. So when he needs just that sure shot, I need to find the fairway, just need to get it out there. He hits a nice little 330 cut, which I thought, wow, like that's intriguing. Like, so he's made a lot of, he's gotten a lot of interest from golfers just based on sheer power and how effortless that is. And he can put it in the fairway at basically at will. So I didn't see how he fared today. Today was the first round to get a chance to see what that looks like. But obviously this tournament and next week is the Byron Nelson, I believe it is. I may have that wrong. I think it is the AT&T, but I might be off on that. Those are tune-up tournaments, obviously in preparation, leading to the PGA Championship and Tiger Watch. Tiger's been seen practicing again. Ooh. We know he's coming for those majors. It's going to draw a lot of buzz and excitement. You know, he's someone that we might want to have a little look at and see what those odds look like as we're getting into the PGA Championship in a couple weeks. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was, so a bet I made this week, Alex Manoah, pitching for the Jays. Love him.
Yeah.
And there's something about Alex Manoah right now where he seems to love the limelight. Like he shines in the limelight right now. And so I took him, and truthfully, it takes a bit of stones to make this pick, if I may pat myself on the back.
Go, absolutely, man.
So I'm betting Jays to score first at home against the Yankee with Alex Manoah on the mound for plus money here, right?
Is this a parlay?
So, no, this was just straight up plus money. I can't remember what it was, plus 105 or something like that. I think it might have been. But the reason why I think it takes a bit of stones is when you look at this Yankees lineup, you look at the way that they're playing. They actually, and the crazy thing about it is they ended up smoking the Jays in that game. Alex Manoah pitched, I think, 5 or 6 phenomenal innings. They brought in Simber and then got lit up, and then everyone else got lit up from there. And they ended up losing the game. But Jays score first because Alex Manoah keeps them in the game. But that Yankees lineup, to bet Jays scoring first, knowing the Yankees are at bat first, and you're leading with that lineup that they have there, it was some stressful baseball to say the least that I watched. But that's going to be a pick I'm going to watch. That's going to be a bet I'm going to watch out for the rest of the year, because I think they play the Yankees a lot, and Alex Manoah seems to show up against the Yankees. He likes to pitch against them, pitches well. It's one I'm going to watch for. I like it a lot. The other thing to keep close eye on, and I don't know what it's done in the last few days, but MLB's been trending on the under a little bit.
Really?
I think it was as of Tuesday, it was hitting about 57% of the time. It's not a crazy number, but as of Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, it was hitting 57% of the time. I don't know what it's at right now, but something to keep an eye on with MLB as well. So a couple little points there to wrap things up. Lots happening. Our beloved Leafs are back at it tomorrow night in Florida. Troy's got him in 5.
King Kong Bundy. Give me 5. 5. Remember King Kong Bundy? 5.
Yeah.
He always wanted a 5 count.
Yeah.
Give me Leafs. 5.
There you have it. Leafs in 5 tomorrow night against the game 3 tomorrow night against Tampa. Going to be an exciting one. We'll see what happens. But more to cover. Enjoy the Kentucky Derby this weekend. We'll be back maybe next week. We'll see what's going on. I don't know. We'll cover something. We'll figure it out.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks very much for listening, guys. If you like what you hear and you want to learn a little bit more about how to get better at betting, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, comment. We want to hear from you.